Hello there gang, Devere here. Now we're taking a quick look at Black Sails, a point and click psychological horror. So let's see what we get with the settings, shall we? Not a great amount, admittedly. You might want to downsize your resolution for reasons we'll talk about in a minute. I'll play it as it is, but that's all you get. So let's start a new game.
Come on! Cursed storm.
Where are we?
Looks like the captain's cabin. But it's a total mess.
Hello? Wait, shouldn't we just...
Can't hurt to take a look around, can it? Right. Not bad.
Hey, what are you doing?
Keep your shirt on, okay?
I beg your pardon?
Till we've met the crew, we should be ready for anything.
You can't just walk around and steal things. Mr...
Drop the formalities. Call me Lex.
Lex. I'm Anna.
See? Wasn't that hard.
I think first
Hang
we
on.
should...
There's no we, understood? You do whatever suits you, but don't count me in.
Don't you see that all of this concerns both of us?
Don't you see that you're getting on my nerves?
So your choices of a conversation will affect people's outcomes, as there's only him to talk to.
It was a strain for both of us, but we'll get through it.
What just happened to us? You're never prepared for a thing like that.
Let's focus on how we can get out of here, all right?
A good decision. Sorry for losing my temper.
Now let's see. I'm going to try and get through this as quick as possible.
I've lost my bag.
Come again?
My bag. There are personal possessions inside. When I jumped into the water, I still had it on my shoulder.
Then maybe next time you should look after your stuff better.
Well, maybe you saw it when...
Sorry, didn't see it.
Let's talk later.
Locked.
Right, we can finally do things now. So yeah, I mean, graphically it's not exactly the greatest in the world. It's not terrible, but the animation's a bit or a little bit manky.
The newspapers are rather old. There's not much that I can decipher. Well, one of the headlines tells about kidnapped and murdered children from Laje do Pico.
So yes, unfortunately the navigation is by clicking. As you can see, the camera sort of pans around, so that can lead to a few frustrations in places trying to get her to manoeuvre, which is a bit of a bus, especially when running. Also, sometimes when you want to just sort of click on something and she moves and your camera moves, it can be a little bit. Would have been nice if they went for just the standard WASD style controls.
This thin wooden wall is blocked by something on the other side.
So in typical point-and-click fashion, we need to find some clues and some items to interact with.
It shows a large ship in a harbor. The picture's crooked. I should take a closer look.
Yeah, at least voice acting.
Let's see what this picture's about.
Voice acting's fairly decent. Yeah, inventory stuff appears up the top here. You can just...
What? There's a small key attached to the back of the picture.
I mean, story-wise, it's fairly predictable, in all honesty. So I'm just trying to sometimes click in the wrong places.
This might help me to open something.
There's plenty of pixel hunting. See there, I didn't just want to click the thing, and she's now wandered off over here. No, back this way, back over here. And you'll have your usual combining and so forth and so on.
The drawer is locked. I've unlocked the drawer. I've unlocked the drawer.
And once something's used, it's gone from your inventory.
Wait a minute. Weren't you the one who got all hot under the collar just because I pocketed something?
I'm looking for a way to open this door. You intended to steal the captain's valuables. You really want to compare that?
Compare what you will.
There are quite a few sort of cutscenes and bits.
I'll take the note with me. The photograph of a little girl, but the burned holes make her unidentifiable and creepy.
Here's what I was saying about the scaling your resolution. The fonts they've chosen, and the fact that they don't scale up with your the notes and diaries you find. I haven't read a single thing in this. Oh, back this way, yes, this WASD right now would be much preferable.
A new handle for the drawer. I think I can open it now.
You do get quite a few cutscenes.
I'll take the note with me. It's a news article. Someone scribbled some numbers on it.
Thank you.
If I place the notes on top of one another, they show some kind of code.
So yeah, it doesn't really add anything new to the formula. The story itself is decent enough. The only thing is, it really counts as horrorous, so not outright horror. As I say, I don't want to really give any massive spoilers of the story, but it does have quite an interesting twist at the end. And of course, like I say, there's plenty of pixel hunting, but you do have, if you hit spacebar, it shows you interactive objects. Apart from once. Strangely enough, the one time I needed it. Most of the puzzles in this game are fairly logical and, you know...
That's strange. I feel a faint draft. Maybe there's something behind the books. There is, in fact, a ventilation grid behind the books.
Yeah, the one time I needed it, there was a particular item. So not to give you spoilers, but I'll give you a clue. It does involve some books. And it didn't work. I was stuck. I was going around every single... Because obviously as you go through, you open up more rooms and areas. I went around everywhere, going around, looking. In the end I thought, right, well, I used the hotkey finder, and it turned out the item was against a stack of books, but it didn't have a hotkey indicator with it. The one time I needed it in this game. Oh dear. So yes, story-wise, as I say, it's quite interesting, and the twist at the end is quite good. But would it count this as horror? It's a fairly decent-ish atmosphere. It sort of ties in several tropes, shall we say. And it doesn't do anything particularly wrong as a point and click. As I say, most of your puzzles are fairly logical. Combine item A with item B and get item C because of it, etc, etc. There's one slightly annoying one with a crane when you have to get the crane in the right position to get a chain attached to it. That was a bit chorey, and like I say, the one time I needed the hotkey indicator not actually appearing. But everything else, it is pretty logical. You shouldn't have any particular troubles completing it. There's certainly no real in-depth puzzles. There's no sliding tile puzzles or any of that junk. So this was Black Sails. As I say, I don't really give too much more spoilers. You finally get the extra bit of code, and then you unlock that, and then you, etc, etc. You know what you're doing with a point and click, I'm sure. So overall, it's not bad. There's a few graph glitches as well. In one particular area, you can make her walk into the floor and disappear underneath it if you're not careful in the mess halls. I was able to get her out by just getting into another room, luckily. And some people on Steam forums reported the spoken dialogue goes missing occasionally. I didn't have that problem, but a lot of people have mentioned it, so it's only fair I mention it here just in case. But for the same, other than the time when it glitched through the floor, and I had a crash when I tried to load the game once. I did have a crash when I loaded the game once. But generally the performance issues are pretty good. I didn't have that. There were the only couple of problems I encountered with the game. So say story, yeah, it's got quite a clever twist at the end, I thought, that sort of probably makes it worth it if you like your point and clicks. But I wouldn't really call this deep horror as such. In that respect, there's no major jump scares or anything along those lines. There's no monsters chasing you or anything like that. So I think we'll conclude our dealings here, gang. This was Black Sails, a fairly decent point and click adventure game with quite a nice little story twist at the end. But overall, execution is pretty decent. Graphics, as you can see, aren't particularly much to speak of. Sounds okay. There's nothing outstanding, and voice acting's fairly decent. Maybe a little bit overhammed in places. So, that was Black Sails. Not a bad little number, all in all. So anyway, gang, thanks for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I hope you found it useful or interesting. And as ever, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let me know you're alive. And I will see you all next time. Bye now.